have some bad news. A bank statement that says Costco, Walmart, Amazon, that is not a receipt in the eyes of the IRS. If you're relying solely on bank statements as a way to prove your tax deductions, then you could be walking into a very expensive issue if you are ever pulled for an audit. Today, we're going to be talking about why the what is more important than the where and how you can implement a system to protect your salon or your barbershop in the event that you are ever audited. Um, Welcome back. This is 2026 Tax Talk. My name is Jennifer Drew, and I am the founder and CEO of Hair CEO. It is a business advisory and accounting firm serving self-employed hair professionals and hair business owners, helping them run legitimate, profitable, and bankable businesses through bookkeeping, taxes, and business advisory services. And today is day 19 of 90 in this series called 2026 Tax Talk. So let's break this down. I've seen a lot of, self-employed hair professionals come to us and they're preparing their tax return. They haven't worked with us during the year. And when we ask them certain questions about tax deductions, we'll say, hey, what type of documentation do you have to support the amount that you're telling us that you spent on your business? And a lot of times they'll say, I have a bank statement. But that is not always enough because the IRS knows that you can buy more than just stuff for your business at places like Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club. Any of these places, they have household items, they have personal items. And so you have to make sure that if you are shopping at these places, that you are getting that receipt and not relying on the bank statement to just be like, oh, yeah, I remember I was at Target and I bought some stuff for my salon, or I was at Walmart and I bought some towels for the barbershop. No, because if you're ever pulled for an audit and they want you to prove that you were at Costco or you at Walmart buying towels and neck strips and whatever else, you're not going to have the receipt to prove that. They're not going to allow you to take it, and they're going to say, nope, you're going to be taxed on that income because you can't prove that it was a tax deduction. And, this actually, like I mentioned, this happens a lot when we ask folks who just come to us for tax prep, where did this documentation come from? And it's not to scare you. The chances of getting an audit are very low, especially if you're working with a reputable firm. All of our tax professionals are either CPAs or EAs. And so when you are working with a reputable company, the IRS has a lower possibility of auditing you. Plus, at our firm, for example, you want to make sure you're working with a firm that's going to back you up in the event that there is an audit. And so all of our tax work is backed up by audit protection so that we could represent you in something like this. So this did happen. One of our clients came to us and the state had actually said, hey, you know what? We just want to prove some of these purchases because they say Amazon. We want you to prove that these are actually hair products and stuff for your salon. And of course, we had the information. So we were able to provide documentation. The state, I think this was the state of Massachusetts. And so we uploaded the receipts as they asked for. And once you're able to prove, like, yes, this is all the salon stuff, if we came back quickly, then they'll leave you alone because they're like, okay, all right, so this was real. They were able to come back and prove that it was for the salon or the barbershop, and then they'll leave you alone. But let me tell you, if we didn't come back with that information or we were slow with that information, they could have kept digging. Oh, so the Amazon isn't real. Okay, well, now let's pick out some of these other expenses to see if it was really a business purchase. That can happen. And also just realizing that it's not just the IRS that could audit you, your state could audit you too. So you're like, all right, well, if that's the case, Jennifer, like, what should I do? Well, if you are going to be shopping at places where it's considered like mixed use, then you want to make sure that you are snapping a picture of that receipt. And, if you're anything like me, I'm just going to snap it, I email it to myself. Or if you have an app, um, their QuickBooks has a mobile app where you can email it to yourself, and then it will, connect it to the transaction. You can email it to yourself, and then sort it into a folder that says the year and then taxes. So right now, if you're doing it, you could start now and have 2026 taxes for all of your receipts that you are capturing. You just want some type of system that that you can keep up with. Now, for our clients who are working with us monthly, we're doing that for them. Like, if it's something like a mixed use place, again, we want to make sure that we're protecting our clients. And they probably don't like it, but we're like, hey, can you upload a receipt to that Costco? What did you purchase? We want to make sure it's documented, because again, you want to make sure, like, I would much rather your accountant or your accounting firm ask you, hey, what's that purchase, than you being asked by the state or by the IRS, and they're trying to ask you questions and now you're freaking out. Like, yes, you can be upset with us and you can be like, oh my gosh, like, y'all ask me all these questions. Yeah, because we want to defend you in the event that anything happens, because you're running a business and you just never know. The IRS and state, you just want to be prepared. And so that is something that you want to do for 2026. Now, I don't want you to be afraid to take your deductions. If you haven't been doing it and it's like, Jennifer, you're scaring me. It's 2025. I'm ready to file my taxes. I'm relying on bank statements. I do not have, all the receipts. It's okay. Don't freak out. If you're working with us, we have ways in which we can make sure we document it in a way where it's still defendable. But this is the reason why you want to make sure you're working with a really good tax professional or accounting firm that understands this industry. This hair industry is unlike other industries, and you want to make sure that you're working with someone that understands the ins and outs and ways in which that can protect you in the event that you haven't been so clean about your books. And you might be like, this is all really boring. Like, how does that really help me other than, an audit? Like, what are the chances of an audit? Chances of an audit are really low. Well, think about this. When you're going for a loan, let's say you're trying to buy a home or you're trying to do some business expansion stuff and you need to get a loan, they're going to look at and rely on your profit and loss statement. And I will tell you, when you get lazy with not keeping your receipts, it shows on your profit and loss statements. It absolutely shows. And then I've seen it because people come to us, they're ready for taxes, and we'll ask, like, do you have a profit and loss statement? People will upload it, but it is, when I tell you, it is very evident that this is wrong and that it would cause red flags. Again, we can do that because that's all we work with is the hair industry, right? And so we're able to take those profit and loss statements that people are uploading and say, wait a minute, we cannot submit this. This is a red flag, has red flags all over, like ding, 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 ding. So we say, we need to ask some follow-up questions, because again, we're protecting you because we know what this industry has and what's normal. And so again, you just want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and you have a system for your business, and do not rely just on your bank statements for things at stores where it could be multiple things. All right, well, that wraps up today. I just wanted to make sure that we understood how to properly defend your expenses, to make sure that you feel comfortable moving into 2026. And again, not to scare you. If you didn't do this in prior years and you only have bank statements, I still want you to claim those tax deductions. Just make sure that you're working with a firm that understands that and can defend it. And if you're interested in working with us for the 2026 filing season, the link is in the description below, and I would love to help you file your taxes for 2025, or even if you're behind and you need help with prior years. All right, my name is Jennifer, and I help self-employed hair professionals and hair business owners simplify profits and taxes for them. So I will see you next time, tomorrow, day 19.